Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ivan, and I'm your host for this day's event. So, welcome to the day two of our Panasonic Manila Fashion Festival and to our event, POV Point of View, a fashion photography forum. So, how are y'all doing today? Kamusta naman tayo dyan, mga kapatid, mga kapamilya, kapuso? Welcome po sa ating event ngayon, especially sa ating mga live stream viewers via YouTube and Facebook. So, today, I believe na tayong lahat ay excited sa mangyayari ngayong hapon, and I believe that we are here. We are bonded here today with our with one interesting thing. We all are interested about photography. Am I right? Particularly fashion photography, and some of us are actually passionate about it. So today, you're in for something good, something exciting, and something wonderful kasi maraming mangyayari ngayong hapon. So let me just orient you of what's gonna happen this afternoon. So we're gonna have a small talk at the beginning of this event, and after that, we're gonna have a live demo of our lesson, and later on, we'll be opening the floor for question and answer. So kindly during the talk, so kindly listen and pay attention to our speaker this afternoon. And mamaya po, i-take note natin ating mga questions na ibabato sa ating speaker for this afternoon. So guys, the question is, are we all ready this afternoon? All right. I believe and I can sense, I can feel in your presence that you're radiating this afternoon, that you're very excited this afternoon. And especially to our live stream viewers, also if you have questions, kindly send them down and use the hashtag PMFFX this afternoon. So, with no further ado, let me just go ahead and tell you something about what's going to happen today. So our speaker will be talking about the basic lighting and particularly in fashion photography. So without further ado, let us all welcome our guest speaker for today, Mr. Alex Ruelo. Kindly give them a warm round of applause.
All right, guys. Good afternoon. Sino nandito yesterday? Who's here yesterday? There you go. We have some folks there. Okay, sino dito ang photographer? So we have some foreign guys, so I should be speaking English, right? All right. Okay. Good. My goodness, I thought I'm not gonna have so much effort today, but anyway, I'll try my best for you guys. All right. But anyway, who among you guys are professional photographers? When I say professional, you get paid. None? Okay. How many among you who just get fed when you shoot? There you go. Okay. You come to my party, you shoot my kids, and I'll just feed you, man. Or maybe your friends will just say thank you, or sometimes they don't even say thank you to you, right? All right, I feel you. But okay, so I have, most of you are just pretty much non-professional or hobbyists, most likely. All right. All right. I will be teaching today basic lighting. We'll have a model later, and maybe we can play with it a bit. I didn't bring the studio light because I thought if you will be shooting, you might want to have the continuous light. But the concept of lighting, where to position, and what to look for, hopefully I will be able to teach that to you today. All right. If you have any question, you can ask me anytime. By the way, I've been shooting with Lumix since 2014 when the GH4 came out. I'm actually a photographer, and then lately I've been shooting videos because we in Lumix, we are hybrid creators. We are hybrid photographers. We shoot photos and we shoot videos. And I think most of you does the same thing, okay? And I also think that there's more money in videography than photography nowadays. You can charge more in video than in photography. All right, so we'll start. This is studio lighting. Okay, oops. Bam. All right, studio lighting. Let's just have a quick review. This is photography or videography. You can apply this to photography and videography. Now, when we talk about photography, we all understand that photography is all about lights. Okay? You cannot have photos if you don't have lights. There's a guy I heard a couple of weeks ago. We are both speakers. I talked first and presented about the Lumix, and he was so pissed off because we have 187 megapixels of camera. He said, that's useless. Photography is not about camera. It's like, okay. How can you do photography without a camera? You need a camera to do photography, right? But his point was, I didn't realize it until he said photography. He wanted to say that you need to print your photos, because today you just put it in Facebook. You have 187 megapixels, 47 megapixels, and you just upload it on Facebook. So you need to print it but you can't print all of the photos that you produce. You have thousands of photos. When I shoot a wedding, probably in a day, I will have at least 4,000 photos for the whole team. Myself will shoot about 1,000 something or almost 2,000 photos, and you don't print all of it. When a client order an album, there's only 150 photos or images in the album, and that is just pretty much 40 to 60 pages. Okay, you don't print everything. But anyway, the point is, photography here, everything is about light. If you don't have a light, you won't be able to produce an image. Okay? But the thing that we need to understand is there's a behavior in lighting. Okay? And that's what we're going to talk about. Okay? Quick, that's just what I talk about. It's about lighting. Okay? Now, why do we light? Why do we use lights? Okay? Most of the time, we have gloomy days. There's poor lighting when we shoot outside, when we go outside. You cannot control that light. Okay, you cannot control the nature and say, can you please turn on the light? Or if I have a client and let's say we go to Corregidor for a prenup shoot. When we go to a Corregidor and it's just a day tour, the boat leaves at 7 o'clock in the morning and it gets to Corregidor at around 10 in the morning. And it leaves at 2 to 3 in the afternoon. So basically, I only have a window of shooting from 11 or 10 a.m. all the way to 1 or 2. They said if you're shooting in that on that time of the day, it's the worst lighting you'll ever have. But you see, I cannot tell my client, no, we can't shoot because the lighting is not good. So you have to control the light. You have to have strobe lights. You have to have those studio lights that you bring. Today, back in the days, we use cabled strobes. Today, you have those strong lights like 400 watts, 500 watts, and it's battery operated. And it's really good. And if you're using other cameras, you can do a high-speed sync as well. So anyway, we use lights because of this, okay? We don't really need to depend on the light, so we bring out the skies. Normally, when you shoot sunset, what happens? Pag nagpipicture kayo ng sunset, uy, it's a nice sunset. Stand up there, I'll take a picture of you, especially if you're using phones. Silhouette, oh, it's a nice silhouette, wow. But you can't recognize the subject, uy, ang dilim, I'm too dark. So ang gagawin natin, liliwanagan natin yung subject. We're gonna brighten up the subject. What happens to the sky? Wash out, it's white. So you need to have light to brighten up your subject, but at the same time, you have to expose the available light or the sunset. Okay? That's why we need light. Or we need to create mood. We need to get the light of the surroundings and then add light to your subject. Or else, you just get the mood light and your subject is not there. It's pretty much dark. Okay? We emphasize on our subject using the light. We need to pop a flash to our subject or put whatever light we have so that the subject will be emphasized. We also use it for commercial. Okay? When we shoot, luma na to, no? Luma na yan. But especially in commercial, when you're shooting commercials, you cannot just shoot available light. Even in fashion, and I believe, you can't just shoot without light. You need to provide light. And sometimes, like the other day, I had a shoot for the S1R. We tested the S1R, and we want to print a life-size image. You cannot shoot at the opening of f4 and available light. You need to have an aperture of at least 11, 13, or 16, and then pop a flash. And if your light is too weak, your subject will not be properly exposed. So you need to use at least about 1,500 or at least 800 watts, 500 watts of light if you're shooting outdoor. Okay? So in commercial, it's the same thing. The agency will not accept your image if it's blurred. Okay? Unless you'll say it's artistic. Okay, sure. or maybe that's the requirement of the client. But if it's a product, you gotta have a strong light and a higher aperture, and we'll talk about it. I hope that you pretty much know the basic. Let's review the basic when it comes to exposure. Okay, any of you understand the exposure triangle? We all understand. Okay, we're good with the exposure triangle, which are aperture, shutter, and ISO. Okay, so that's the thing that we need to. Shutter speed is the speed in which the shutter curtains travel across the film or the sensor. So this is the curtain thing that open and close to expose the sensor, right? Okay, so you need to have, you control it from 30-second all the way to 1/8,000. Or if you want it open all the way, you can using bulb. Okay, that's the shutter. It also controls the available light. Okay, when you're shooting with strobes. The aperture is the size of the opening of the lens. Tama? We know that. When you look at your lens, you look at the hole there. So the higher the number, the smaller the hole. The smaller the number, the bigger opening. Okay? Just like a quick review lang. So this is the aperture. The lower the number, 2.8, and the more expensive the lens is, right? 1.2, mas expensive na. In Leica, we have the 0.95. Okay? F16 is the smallest, but the smallest number will produce clearer image. Okay? Sharper image because your depth of field is wider already. With the shallow depth of field at f2.8, sure, there's more light, but the depth of field is shallow. So basically, blurred na kapag ka 1.2, when you use 1.2, your eye is sharp, but the nose is blurred. Okay? And it's not going to work for other commercial work. And of course, the ISO or the ASA. Does anybody know what the ISO stands for? Or we just call it ISO. Who cares? Okay? Back in the days, we have the ASA when we're using film. Okay? Because that is the American Standard Association. Basically, there's a standard for film exposure. Okay? With the European, they have the DSA. Okay? The Dutch Standard Association. Finally, I guess after the World War, they have the ISO, the International Standard Organization thing. Okay? So there's one standard only for all the sensitivity of the film. Okay? So that's what it is. And ISO now, we're not talking about film anymore. We're just talking about the sensor, the sensitivity of the sensor. And some cameras can go up to 6,400 and it's still clean. Okay? With the LUMIX sensor, with the micro four thirds, we are afraid to go up to 1,600. Okay? Normally, I shoot only at 800. So it's clean. And I want it clean. Unless they will require grain on the photo, then I'm okay to go up to 1.6. But with the full frame, with the S1R that they just developed, lately I tried the 6,400 and it's still clean. Okay? With other brands, yeah, they can go up to 10,000 ISO or more. Okay? But in advertising, we don't really want it. We want the lowest ISO as we can get and higher aperture, and then just pop a flash or strobes. Okay? The flash sync speed. Anybody familiar with the sync speed of your camera? How much? 1/155? 125. Yours? Okay. 250 actually. Okay, that is the standard now. With the S1R that they built, you can go up to 300. Okay, with the sync speed of 300. When you're using a trigger that is high-speed sync, you can go up to 1/8000. Okay, but that is a high-speed sync of the strobes. Okay, but the strobe needs to communicate with your camera. But anyway, flash sync speed, basically what's gonna happen, if you're opening, your shutter is 200, you get the right image. Okay, Basically, what he's saying, when you pop a flash with the speed of your shutter at 200, poop, okay, it will capture the right lighting. But when you go with the 250, some cameras, okay, this is not for all the cameras. It doesn't apply to all cameras, okay? Some cameras, when your shutter is at 250 and you use flash, you get half clear, half exposed and half not. Why? Because the opening of the door is like, whoop. It's basically cutting off the light that comes into the sensor, okay? And if you have the 320, you pretty much don't have image anymore, okay? So you need to know the sync speed of your camera, or else you are shooting with flash and it's not properly exposed. You keep on thinking, why is it like this? Why is it underexposed? It's because the flash sync is not really coming into the sensor, okay? Now, the white balance, when you're shooting, this is important, okay? When you're using strobe, normally, the white balance is 5,600. You cannot use auto white balance when you're shooting with flash. Why? Because the camera thinks that your light, the white balance for the shot is the tungsten. Kunyari, when we're shooting here, okay? The camera will read that the white balance is supposed to be at about 3,200. And then you pop off a flash, which is about supposed to be 5,600. What's gonna happen? The skin tone will be almost blue. Okay? So you go like, it's really ugly using flash. That's why people think, actually people are afraid to use flash. A lot of people are afraid to use flash because they think it's ugly. Because their picture is messed up. It's because they don't know how to use flash. Most of the people, sino dito ang mahilig, you use flash when you shoot? You use flash, okay? Some people don't use because they don't know how to use it. But it's supposed to be a great tool for photography, okay? It was invented for a purpose, for a great purpose, okay? So you need to have your white balance set to 5,600 or 5,500. It depends on the light, it depends on the attitude of the light, okay? There are light, like, let's say we use the Alien Beast, okay? That's a different brand, or Broncolor, or Photix, or let's say, ano nga yung mga mumurahin? Ay, Elinchrom, yeah, Elinchrom is a good one. You can go up to I use 5,500 on Elinchrom, okay? There are like, ano yung Korean brand? Godox, yeah, but there's another one, the letter, Limelight, yeah. So there are those kind of, it depends on the light you're using. You need to know the right white balance for that. But normally, it goes from 5,000 to 5,600. Actually, you can't go down to 5,000. That's supposed to be messed up. Okay, the flash white balance is supposed to be the same white balance of daylight. It's supposed to be white. It can't be yellow unless you put gel on it. Okay? For cloudy, you want your white balance to be 6,000. Or shade at 7,000. But of course, your camera have a preset. You see the flash, you see the house, the cloud, or the sun, or the tungsten, the bulb, or the fluorescent. If you don't have the Kelvin, this is pretty much for the Kelvin settings. All right? Am I too fast? Or are we good? All right, good. Because I don't want you to be sleeping there while I'm talking. And so I'm trying to make it fast. Okay, you have two types of light sources. Okay, uncontrolled lighting or daylight. Okay, when you, like what I said at first, when you go outside, you don't know the lighting situation. Okay, so you that's why today we just go, okay, 1.2, and then we just adjust on the shutter. Okay, you can't really do that. But yeah, it works sometimes, but not all the times. Okay. The light sources, uncontrolled lighting or daylight, and of course, controlled lighting or controlled light or artificial lighting, which we use in the studio. Okay? The reason why we use strobes is because at least we are consistent to our settings, and we just pop, 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 pop change subject or change model, boom, boom, boom. Okay, change. Especially when you're shooting products, let's say you're shooting for SM, and they ask you to shoot thousands or hundreds of products that they have, and you have to shoot everything. At least you want your light to be controlled. You don't want to shoot outdoor and wait for the sun and to have a proper exposure. You want to use the strobe and just pop, pop, change, boom, boom, and then done. Okay, one setup of lighting. Okay, flash power. Well, it depends. It depends on the wattage of the flash you have. Sometimes, like what I said, you have 120, you have 300, you have 400, 1,500, which is really great. So sometimes it's good to have stronger one, but also you want to have those small wattage flash. Okay. Quality of light. Let's leave that one, the other one. So when we talk about quality of light, we need to leave our common sense. Why? Okay, because it's pretty much simple. Okay, it's simple, but you have to understand the lighting proper. I mean, this quality. Like you have harsh light. When you say harsh light, this is what happens when you just put your flash straight. Okay, without any modifiers. Okay, boom, and then let's say this one, you just want to pop it, boom, and then done. Okay, or like this, it's harsh lighting, there's harsh shadow, but there's purpose for that. Okay, you just need to know where to position the light. Is it supposed to be on the left or on the right, or is it supposed to be straight? You need to understand that there's purpose for every quality of light. Sometimes you will want to use soft light, and that depends. Let's say I shoot a lot of weddings. I need to have soft light for the brides, okay? Because the bride is supposed to be pretty, okay? But if I'm shooting groom, I want my light to be at least harsh. I cannot use those beauty light for him, unless he say, dude, you know. You gotta make me pretty here, okay? But most of the time you use the soft light for the bride or for beauty shots. And okay, so he said harsh light can be achieved by a stronger, smaller light source and by moving the light source farther. Okay, the smaller the light source, let's say this one, this is the light source is really small. So what happens is it creates harsh shadow, and it's supposed to be, but it's still big, but it will not spill the light all the way to the background. Okay, now I'm sure you're having a hard time on your exposure, but it's supposed to give you a dramatic lighting. Okay, now if you want this to be soft, can you help me with this? When you want to make your subject, or when you want to have soft lighting, you're going to put modifiers that are supposed to be bigger. So when you shoot, there's not much shadow that spills on the. I mean, the shadow will not be too sharp. Okay. Can you hold this one? That's okay. Sir, can you stand up here? Can I use you? Yes, sir. If you don't mind. Do you have cameras with you guys? Okay, let me. You know what? I will test it. Okay. Okay, over here. We'll test it. Sir, can you stand up there? Andre, can you go to the other side? It's okay. Can you move the light here? Move the light. Yeah. Sorry, sir. What's your name? Evan. 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 Okay. Evan, can you step backward there? Okay. Andre, tanggal muna. Okay. Here's the Okay. So right now, we have, and the exposure is not changing. Let's see. Okay. That's the harsh light. Okay. That's harsh lighting. Evan, can you move your face a bit here? No, no, not too much. There you go. Just turn a bit. There you go. And then look eyes here. There you go. Let's see if it make it. Okay. All right. So that's harsh lighting. Okay. And then can you put the modifier? Let's see if we can create a. No, Andre, go in front of the light. There you go. And then higher. Move it closer to him. Hold it properly. Okay. No, not too close. Like, hold on. Yes. What we need is a one. Okay. Okay. So there's more details now on the face, but of course we don't want it like that. Evan, Andre, can you move the light here a little bit more? Sige pa, sige pa. Okay, good. All right, higher. There you go. And okay, now I think this is better. So the light is softer now. If you move closer, move the modifier closer to him, please. Sige pa, closer pa. Okay. Okay. That would be softer. And if I want to go back, Andre, okay, natanggal yan. Remove that one. Let's compare it to that. Okay, so this is harsh, and you see the background is pretty much gone. Okay, this is good for ID pictures or whatever you want to create, and this is the soft. Okay, Evan, thank you so much. That is a good. That is actually a good example. For guys, you want to have. Let's remove this. I prefer this for guys. Would you agree? Okay. Compared to a little bit more prettier. Okay. So this is the soft light. This is the harsh light. And you use this kind of technique depends on the subject, and it depends on the mood. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about more about it later. So okay ba? Naintindihan natin yon? We understood that, right? Okay. So, I think this jump. Okay. Soft diffuse is achieved by a weaker, bigger light source. Basically, what you're trying to imitate, okay? Imagine this. When you're outside and it's cloudy, the light is actually soft. Okay? Because there's diffuser. Or let's say you're inside, okay? If there's a bigger window, then that's for sure your light will be soft. So that's what we're trying to imitate here. But if your light is smaller, then it's going to be harsher, okay? But there's more drama on it, okay? Now, these are the kind of lights that we have. So far, we have hot lights. And ito yung mga floodlights. I don't think there's still a lot of people using this, but today it's pretty much gone. Because hot lights is what we're talking about, exactly what it is. It's hot, okay? I remember back in the days, if you are not careful, it will burn you for real. Or sometimes the filters, it get burned, okay? And the thing with the hot lights, the advantages is it's cheap. What you see is what you get. You can use in camera metering, okay? The disadvantage is hot. Oh, yeah. That's for the advantages. For disadvantage, it's hot, uncomfortable for models, pupil dilation, tendency for blur. Okay? Sometimes when it's really hot, That becomes a problem when we're shooting. So, but today we call the strobes as cold lights because it's just steady. But also the modeling, the continuous light can be cold lights also. It's not that hot anymore compared to back in the days. The yellow one, I don't know if you're familiar with it. Yung sobrang dilaw, and it's annoying. But anyway, we call the strobes as cold lights. Advantages: it freezes action. You want to freeze the action. You want to use flash. Okay, let's say. Actually, I don't know if I can show you. We have some here. I'll show you. Okay, like this one, it just happened that the flash is not too strong. So this is straight out of the camera shot. It freezes the action, okay? And you want to use this if you want to shoot action shots. But of course, but with strobe, okay? With the available light, these are straight out of camera. I'm using the S1R. We're supposed to bring this. We're supposed to exhibit these photos on on April 10, okay? But you see, the details. Let's say this one, I can go up to 8, all the way to 13, on the aperture, and you see the pimples and everything, right? Zooming it in, okay? But we use a strobe. I think it's 500 watts, so it's not enough. So we probably need some editing on this one. But if you want to freeze actions, this is what you want. Okay, you want to use strobe. Yung mga jump shot, you need to use flash. Okay, I have some photos before of this. It's kind of silhouette. It's because the light is coming from the top, the sun, and I don't have any feel light for the motorcycle or for the driver or this girl. Okay, so yun yung advantages. That's the advantages of the strobe. Okay na ako. And you want to use low ISO, like what I said kanina. And then, but the thing with the cold lights, it's expensive. Some lights will run up to 100,000 to 200,000. Okay, those lights that I'm talking about, like the 500 watts, the Elling Chrome, it's about 120,000 pesos. Okay, of course the strobes like this one, it's kind of cheap, probably about 10,000 pesos. Okay, but this is not strong enough to shoot those kind of shooting. Okay, if you want to use lights for advertising, those are the one that's probably will run up to 100,000 to 200,000. Okay, and these are the thing with the strobe. You have slave. Basically, slave is for so you can shoot it, and every time you flash like that one, boom, all the lights will pop up. Okay, and you don't need to wire it. And then for light modifiers, you will need umbrella, you will need soft boxes, dish reflector, barn doors, snoot, and this is important for if you want to control the light. Okay, basically all those modifiers are used to control the light. Like what we said a while ago, strobes are controlled lights, right? So you want to control, you want to create, you want to, if you want small, just to put a streak of light on the face, then you will actually invent things that will control that small light that will go to the face. Okay, that's why all of this were created. These are invented by those guys before us, but you can always recreate however you want it. Okay, and for triggers, back in the days we used to have infrared. You can use that indoor, but you can't use that outdoor. Actually, for strobes, like for the flash, they are infrared. They have infrared if you want to control all those light. And when triggers were not invented yet, we used to use cords, okay? So it will not misfire. Then radio triggers came out. There's better radio triggers nowadays, okay? Like, where's my radio trigger? There you go. These are radio trigger, and it can go up to 100 meters away from you if you want to shoot strobe somewhere far from you, okay? And I think there's more better radio triggers that now. Okay, here are the setup, sample setup, okay? We always have what we call the main light, okay? There's only one main light every time you shoot, okay? You can't have two main lights. Basically, what we're trying to imitate is the sun. But of course, you can always have fun and recreate, what do you call this? Invent however lighting you want. This, what I'm going to show you, is just a basic, and you can start from here. You can always play with light. There's no rules in photography, okay? These are just guidelines. Whatever I'm teaching you is basically the foundation or just the basic lighting setup. Okay, here are the common lighting setup. The broad lighting, basically one light, okay? And the subject is facing the light. And then you have the short lighting, which is the subject is facing away from the light, okay? You see, the way I understand light is, especially with the controlled light, you can always move it. The common mistake for starting photographers that's playing with light, as long as it's properly lit, it's all good, okay? You can reposition your light and just play with it, okay? Like this one, if you look at the diagram, the main light is on the right side, and then we put hair light on top, and then a little bit on the side here, okay? This hair light is created so that your subject will be separated from your background, exactly, okay? The butterfly lighting, which is, why did they call it butterfly? Because there's butterfly on the nose down, okay? Which is true. It looks like a butterfly on the nose. That's pretty much it, okay? And then the Rembrandt lighting, they call it Rembrandt lighting because they got it from the, from Rembrandt, okay? He's actually a painter, okay? Back in the days, he paint, okay? He is known for having this kind of lighting in the painting that there's like a triangle on the cheek. It can be on the left, or it can be on the right. Okay, that's why it's called Rembrandt lighting. If there's no triangle lighting here on the cheek, it's not Rembrandt. Okay, it's something else. Maybe Alex. Light meter. There's not much people use light meter nowadays. Does anybody use light meter? Okay, it's good when you're shooting with client. It looks smarter. But okay, 125 F8 here, and can you bring the slide a little bit more and pop more in here? Boom! It's just art. It becomes a props nowadays because you see back in the days when we use light meter because we're using film, okay, and you can only have a couple of shots. You can't have 1,000 shots in a day. You have 36 rolls, or like if you're using medium format, it's gonna be one at a time. Okay, so you have to be precise when you set up the light. When you pop it up, it's gotta be right straight out of camera, or else you will be burning a lot of money back in the days. Okay, I don't know if you still want that one. Now fill light. Okay, so when we shoot, we start from the main light. And then we add fill light, okay? It can be those modifiers, or it can be styrofoam, or you can add a little bit more light. Let's say main light is coming from the top. Sometimes we add another light from the bottom just to light up the the bottom part. Okay? If you only have one light on the face, then the bottom part will be darker. So you need to have fill light. Okay? And then the background light, like this one, you have a main light. You have, I think there's only one light there. And then at the back, it pops up some light at the back. Okay? Same thing. It's two light setup. How? Because you see, this is how we do this. Okay, if there's an image that we want to copy, okay, what we do, we look for the light. We look for the position of the light. Let's say with this, how many lights did they use on this one? Is one? How many? Any other answer? Two? Where's the two light coming from? Okay. And then the other one would be from? Okay. One light is coming from here. How would I know? It's because of the catch light here and the shadow. Okay. The other light is firing at the back, at the background. If there's no light at the background, then there will be no separation of the background and the subject. Okay, you see that light? Like, you see, if there's no light, this is how it looks like. But since they pop up light here at the back, then it creates separation of the subject. Okay? So, I'm going to skip that one. For sometimes you need, when you shoot, it's okay for small light setup, for individual subject. You see, this actually, okay, these images are old images that we used when we were teaching, when we used to have a school. Okay. I didn't like much about this because there's one light here, one light at the back, one on top, but there's a missing light on the other side. Okay. It could have been better if there's one more light on the other side. For this group picture, you pop a flash on in front of them, or with this, you need, with the group shot, you gotta have more light. There's not much light here actually, and normally we want to use flash to make it natural, especially for family portraits. You don't want it to be so fake. Okay, like this one, there's a pop-up flash, or there's a flash on the other side. Actually, over here also, I think this one, because of the kicker light here, and it's just the left would be the main light, and it's just the available light. Okay. This is what I said a while ago. To see how a picture is lit, look at the catch light. Okay, like this one. This is my images now, shot with the LUMIX G9. Okay, you look for the catch light. Okay, how many lights did I use here? Bakit mo nasabing 3? Ay, siya ba nagsabi? Sige na, sagutin mo na. Wag ka na. Bibigyan kita ng loot bag. Sige, sagutin mo. Try mo lang. Try lang. Okay. Okay. Actually, if I am not mistaken, you're almost right. It's just that the right light is bigger. I use a parabolic. Alala mo ba itong shoot na to? Wala ka doon. Andun ka. Umalis ka lang eh. We use a parabolic light. You see, like what we said, we use bigger light so that it will create a softer for beauty light, okay? For beauty shoot. So you see, it's soft. Even the shadow is soft, okay? But use another light at the back, kicker light, just to separate the subject to the background. Okay? With this one, how many light do we use here? 2. Madali kasi yung dalawa eh. Tsaka mura yung dalawa. It's cheaper if you only have 2 lights. Now, when you buy Elinchrom light, when you buy Elinchrom, there's 2 heads already. And then 1 battery pack. Okay? That's why it's, no. But I use 2 lights on this one also. one here, and the other one I put gel on it. Just and then there's a guy who's smoking with a vape. I said, "Can you blow your vape there?" So it did. Just to create a little bit of drama. There's more funny picture on this one, but anyway, I'm so happy she wasn't bitten. The other one was bitten. But okay, see the light? It makes the picture sharper. It's look better than the available light. Of course, available light shooting and with the bokeh, it's good, but sometimes it's better with the light. Okay? They said almost never light a subject from beneath unless it is a fill light or the picture is for horror movie. Okay? It's okay to position the light wherever, but you gotta have a purpose for using it, like this one, diba? Unless you want to create some drama. Okay? Like what I said, there's no rules. To properly expose for a backlit subject, use a fill light for the subject, which is almost as strong as the backlight. Okay? Just to fill in and to expose your subject. Make sure there is only one shadow so that it looks natural. Like this one, you just basically fill in a light. Be simple, start with one light, then add as necessary. Okay? Then add, and then maybe you put color. Whoops, I think, yeah, like this one light, start with one light. And if you think it's good, then it's good. Then you can add two or three more lights, and then use more lights. Okay? You can play with it. You can play with lights. I remember when I used to be, when I used to market Photix. Photix was one of the light brand today, But I think 2011, when I started doing a marketing for Photix, and so every shoot I go, I bring lights, okay, and I need to have at least 4 to 5 lights just to demo and just to brag about lighting, Even in weddings, I set up so many lights in the shoot, so my guys would be like so tired when the wedding is done because we use so much light. But you see, it creates some good images, though. Okay, it's just that when you get older, you get tired of using and tired of using all those light. But you have no choice. You really have to do it. So today, I'm doing again. I'm back in shooting more photos because of the S1R. So I need to buy more lights again because I sold all my Photix lights because I thought I'm done with it. So there. Then you're gonna use more lights, okay? Like this one. You see this light here, everything is white. This one we played with it. This is last year. What do you call? Face of the Philippines. Yes. Okay. So we played with the lights. So I said maybe we can put color on the light, color on the background, just to match it with all the makeup that they have. Okay, this is a straight out of camera photos. Okay. Light according to the mood of the picture. There. Just waking you up, guys. All right. So you want a beauty shot, you want whatever. Frontal light is best for women, side lit is better for men. Okay? Like this bride here. It's better if it's soft. They look prettier. You get paid better. You get some tips. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, or side light like this. Finally, experiment and have fun. Okay? I don't know if I have example. I don't have any example anymore. But have fun with the light. But you gotta learn how. You see, we call it in Tagalog, dagdag bawas. Okay? Dagdag means add some more. Bawas mean remove some more. Or remove some, I guess. Okay? Because when you're shooting, if there's a missing part in the image, that's why you test. Okay, you start with main light, boom. Okay, it's nice, good exposure. Then you add the kicker light. Oop, boom, oops, too much. Maybe we need to lower it a little bit. Boom. Oh, I guess we can put light. We can put color on it, and then have fun and using those lights. You have to. let's say you're shooting outdoor. Oh, it's too dark, like the one I showed you a while ago, like the motocross thing. Um, I said it's too light. I want it darker so that the subject will pop up some more, or the eyes will focus on the subject more. So we add or we remove some light. Sometimes I know a photographer, a friend of mine. Anybody knows Jay Tablante? I guess pinakamarami or the he used 20 lights one time. He did a because he do a lot of cosplay photography. Okay, so they need to show highlights on all the accessories of the costume. So they need to put small light here, small light there, on top, whatever, and pop up some more flash. So sometimes you really need to add from 1, 2, 3 all the way to 20 lights. But that's more expensive now, right? Okay. So wala pa rin tayong model. Wala pa yung model natin. Do you have any questions? Maybe I can help you answer some of the questions that you have in your head. May model na ba tayo?
I don't know, but yeah.
Anong oras na ba?
Just ask.
Galing nga, saktong-sakto pala ako, 3:58. Any questions, guys? Yes, sir.
Right.
I'm having a hard time to understand your English. No, I'm just kidding. To make the jaw come out. Of course. You can play. You can always play with the light. Okay. Sometimes. Okay. A while ago when we shoot here, there's more light even if it's soft, right? Sometimes you can just add one more light on the other side. They call it cross lighting. That can probably, I don't know. If I have a subject, I can probably solve it there. You see, photography is a problem solving. Okay, this is art, and I got it from a friend of mine, Sandra Angeles. He's really good. When a client give him a project, okay, this is what we want. He will find a solution how he will create it. Okay, if my client tells me, okay, can you please bring out this jaw here? Of course, the positioning of the subject will matter. Okay, the pose will matter, but at the same time, the lighting maybe from the left or from the right, or maybe you can put some fill in on the bottom. I don't know. It depends on the position or it depends on the subject. You can always play with it. And it's good if you already know your subject. Maybe you can picture it in your head when the client comes in. Okay, this is what we're going to do, and maybe adjust a little bit more from adding light or removing some light. I hope I answered your question. Okay, any more questions, guys? You see, lighting using studio lights is not for lazy photographers. You gotta move around and you gotta bring lights. Like this one, I'm supposed to bring at least one whole set, but I'm thinking, do I really want to bring all the set of lights and maybe test it, or just show it off because I only have 1 hour to do this, and I think there's more after this. There's more thing to do after this. So I was like, okay, we'll just bring one light and just show how it works. Okay, so lighting, bringing strobe light or strobes is for photographers who are willing to do extra mile for their client or for the subject. If you don't have any more questions, I'll bring back again Ivan, right? Ivan, take over.
All right. Thank you for the wonderful talk. Let's give Mr. Alex Ruelo a warm round of applause, you guys. Yeah, and so I hope everyone learned something today. And did we learn something today? All right, wonderful. Okay, so maybe just ask Mr. Alex Ruelo again to please proceed here in front. We'll be about to confer to him the certificate of participation for this event. All right, our certificate girl. Okay, all right. Let me just read to you the contents of the certificate. So, this certificate of appreciation. So, this award is presented to Mr. Alex Ruelo for being a speaker for the Point of View POV Photography Forum for the Panasonic Manila Fashion Festival on this date, April 2 to 5, 2019, at EDSA Shangri-La Marquee Tent, signed by CEO of Art Personas, Ronnie Cruz. So, once again, guys, let's give Mr. Alex Ruelo a warm round of applause. Sure.
Sorry guys. Tomorrow I'm gonna be here again, but our speaker is Sam Morales. She does fashion and commercial video. Okay, she uses the GX85, which is that one, if I'm not mistaken. Steve, patingin naman ako nung, ay ano, JB, patingin naman ako nung camera. May susi ka dyan. That small camera right there is what she's using for big time clients like SM, Jeans. Okay? She creates amazing videos, okay? Using those small cameras. And like what I said yesterday, she might not be so technical, so I'm gonna be here for her tomorrow to assist her for any technical questions. But she's really good, guys. If you're getting into commercial videography or you want to get into videography, maybe you will learn some technique from her. But if that's not enough, April 10, we are launching the S1R in Glorieta. Okay, it will be open for everybody. We have 4 shooting stations that you can test the camera and compare it with your camera. Maybe we're giving away we're giving away SD cards, so you can take pictures and then you can take home the SD card, return it to me if you want. No, I'm just kidding. But you can take it home with you. Okay, that would be in April 10, 5 p.m. in Glorieta Activity Center. If you will follow me on Instagram, Alex Ruelo, ALEXRUELO, you may. If you have questions, maybe in the future, you can always ask me. If you want help with whatever, maybe I can help you. Sometimes my wife answers, so she knows my password and everything. Okay, so yeah, if you need more information about the Lumix cameras, we're inviting you on April 10. So, and then tomorrow with Sam Morales, if you want more understanding in taking videos. Yesterday was editing. Nauna yung editing because of the availability. The editing was yesterday. So it's supposed to be the last one, but the availability of the speakers were kind of a mess up. So the shooting will be tomorrow. Okay? Thank you so much again, guys, and have a good day.
All right, Mr. Alex Ruelo here, everyone. And that sums up our event for today. Again, thanks for joining us. And let me just take this opportunity to thank the naming sponsor of it all, Panasonic, for making this event happen. So, guys, let's give a warm round of applause for Panasonic for making this event happen. And, guys, let me just remind you before we exit this hall. So, you will be asked to sign to our registration for attendance and record purposes, and you're up for something good, for you're gonna receive some freebies and giveaways from Panasonic. Again, that wraps up our Point of View event photography forum. Again, this is your host Ivan saying thank you, goodbye, and hey, hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you, and God bless everyone.